Hello everyone, welcome to Bella's Chinese class. In last lesson, we learned initials and finals of Pin Yin. But remember, we still need one more thing to pronounce a Chinese character perfectly. That are tones. In this lesson, we'll talk about the 4 tones and how to pronounce a Chinese character. Okay, let's start. As we mentioned last time, the tones are labeled by the short lines on top of finals. Tones are like the pitches in music. There are high pitches and low pitches. Let's talking about our familiar English first. Does English have tones? Of course. Actually, all languages have tones. You can't speak without tones. Otherwise, you will sound like a robot. Take a look at this sentence. Let's try to feel the tones of the sentence. If your mom say, Henry, that's a high-pitched tone. You didn't go to school yesterday. Didn't. That goes from a high pitch to low pitch. School. The S sounds in low pitch, and then it goes to the high pitch. Let's feel it. School. Do you? The pitch is rising from a low pitch to a high pitch. So look at these short lines. Compare these lines with the lines on Chinese pinyin. Do they look similar? Yes, they look similar, because they all represent how the pitch of a sound goes. But they're not exactly the same. For English, the tones are more used to emphasize the attitude of the speaker. You can change the tones as you like without changing the meaning. You can say, do you? You can also say, do you? The listeners will always understand you. But in Chinese, tones are very important and have strict rules. Some characters spell in the same way, but in different tones. The same spells with different tones have very distinguished meaning. So what are the tones in Chinese? Many beginners find it very difficult to pronounce the tones. But in fact, if you understand the logic of it and why it's like this, you'll find the tones are easy to pronounce. There's a famous Chinese linguist who is also a musician. He recorded the sounds when people speak in Chinese character and used a pitch pipe to simulate the tones and note them on the staff. After analyzing the pitches of thousands of Chinese characters, he found it interesting that the sounds can actually be generalized into 4 categories. If you can read music, it will help a lot. Let's take a look at them. The first tone is a flat high-pitched tone. It sounds like the letter A in English word father. The second one is a rising tone. It feels like in a question you say, do you? The third one is a low-pitched tone. It goes down first and then rises up. It sounds like the first sound of the word about, or the first sound of the word school. School, 死. Many people feel it's really hard. If you have a piano or any keyboard at your hand, you can play the notes on the staff and simulate the sound, so you can better feel how the pitches transit from low to high. The last one is like the word but. You got it? Okay, let's review them. When you practice it, you can play the sound on the piano and follow the pitches to pronounce it. Let's do it. Ah, 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 ah. Okay, let's try another final. The letter O. O, 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 O. Okay, let's try uh, oo, 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 oo. And let's try yu, 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 yu. Okay, these are the 4 tones for Pin Yin. They are very straightforward except the third one. They basically follow the music pitches. So you can play it on a keyboard and practice it, follow the pitches. Okay, we learned the 4 tones now. Let's take a break and then come back with the pronunciation of Chinese character. So far, we've learned all the initials and all the finals and the 4 tones. These are all the elements we need. So let's try to combine them together and pronounce the Chinese characters. You don't need to read these characters at the moment. The pinyin is labeled on top of the characters, so you just need to pronounce it based on what we have learned so far. Let's take a look at this one. Ni, ni, and then we add the third tone, ni. Let's see the second one. The initial is he, the final is ao, he, ao, hao, and we add the third tone, hao, he, ao, hao. Let's see this one, zhi, ong, zhong, and the second one. This is in the second tone, wen, wen. Let's review them from the first. 呢宜你好好中中文文 Congratulations! In this way, you can pronounce any of the Chinese characters. Before we wrap it up, you may have another question. Where do you put the tone labels on? Well, the first principle is label on the finals. But when there are 2 letters in the finals, like this one, what should you do? There comes to another rule. And to help you memorize it, I make them a rhyme. Here's the rhyme of where you should put the tone label on. Let's see. R is always the leader. All go in order. If U appear together, let's do the letter. That means in the pinyin, if there's a letter A in the finals, always put the label on the letter A. If there isn't a letter A, see if there's a letter O, and then label it on the letter O. If neither letter A or letter O in it, let's go to find letter E, and then label it on letter E. So that means the priority of labeling the tone follows the order R, O, E, U. Sometimes you may see only E and U appear together. In this case, the letter I does not always have the priority over the letter U. You have to see whoever is the last and label the tone on the last letter. For example, gui, you label it on the I. And ju, you need to label it on the letter U. Let's review it. I is always the leader. O, go in order. If E, U appear together, let's do the letter. Let's do some practice. The first 2 are easy. Put it on the finals. On the third one, we see the letter R. Since R is always the leader, let's put it on R. Mao. For this one, let's follow the order R, O, E, U. Okay, we put it on O. And this one, we put it on So the third one, if we follow the order R, O, E, U, we should put it on E. However, that's wrong. Remember, if E, U appear together, let's do the letter. So we need to put it on U, Qiu. Okay, great. You have now learned the most important part of Chinese, Pinyin, the phonetic symbol of Chinese character. That's the fundamental of learning Chinese well. In our journey studying Chinese in the future, we'll use it very often. So please practice it over and over. You should familiarize yourself with it. In China, the Chinese kids spend the entire year in grade 1 learning Pinyin. The students read the initials and finals every morning in class until they are very familiar with it. If you want to get more help with it, feel free to schedule a tutorial with us. Remember, we are always here to help. Okay, so in next class, you'll dive deeper and get more familiar with Pinyin. We'll guide you to see more common practices and special cases in Pinyin that you will encounter in your future study. Alright, see you next time.